So, I'm here in Yongsan, and I have another mission. You've seen my last mission, 3 movies, 3 cinemas, 1 day. I'm upping the ante, but not by a whole lot. 4 movies, 3 cinemas, 1 day. And you can see, I'm here at Yongsan for my first 2 movies. And I'm going to Guro for the 3rd, and Yeongdeungpo for the 4th. So today, I am seeing 1, Gemini Man, here at Yongsan Station. Ang Lee's new action film starring Will Smith and a younger Will Smith. 2, Missing Link, Leica Animation's new start-stop animation film, also here at Yongsan. 3, Blood Simple, the Coen brothers' directorial debut, restored in 4K, and now the director's cut. And last but not least, Joker in Yeongdeungpo on the special Sphere X screen. So why am I doing this? Because it's Hangul Day. So I have the day off, and I thought, what the hell, let's up the ante again, and I can break my previous record. So, I just saw Gemini Man, and it was totally average. It's directed by Ang Lee, whom I love. He did Brokeback Mountain, Life of Pi, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And what was interesting about this movie is more on the technical side. It was filmed in 120 frames per second. So if you go to the movie theater and see any movie, you're gonna see it in 24 frames per second. So that's why when they do this with the camera, you can see that little, that tick, 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 jumping, right? This movie, very smoothly shot. Now, I saw it in IMAX. Shout out to IMAX. So it wasn't presented in 120 frames per second. But you can still tell during the action sequences that there is a little smoother action going on. It'll look better if I saw it in a special theater with that kind of projector, but alas, I'm not in North America, so I make do. I give it like a 5.5, maybe a 6. It's like James Bond without the charm. I liked some of the action parts. The motorcycle chase through Colombia was really cool, very visually stunning, but just very generic. And some of the CG work with Will Smith's face, if you know anything about this movie, it's they digitally de-aged Will Smith to like a 22, 23-year-old. Sometimes it works really well, other times it really doesn't. Not quite a spoiler, but towards the end, I was really hoping, and you'll know what I mean when you see the movie, oh, please be Jaden Smith. Please be Jaden Smith. And alas, that would have been quite the joke played on the audience there. So, first movie down. My action one's finished for today. The next one's a kid's movie. And I'll let you know how that is afterwards. So I saw Missing Link, and I made a massive mistake. It was dubbed in Korean, which I guess is kind of ironic since it's Hangul Day today. So I have no idea if I enjoyed it or not. The animation was okay, but I don't think I'll see it again, even if it was in English, so kind of a bust. But I'm a tough guy, and we're going to the 3rd movie. To Guro we go. So, I'm here in Guro, and I've arrived, and I'm about to see Blood Simple, which is Joel and Ethan Coen's first movie. It's restored in 4K, and it's the director's cut. And I've seen Fargo and No Country for Old Men and Burn After Reading and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I love these directors, so I'm excited to see their first movie. So, let's head in, and then I'll let you know how I enjoyed it afterwards. I'm doing 4 in 1 day. Today?
Yeah.
So, I just saw Blood Simple from the Coen Brothers, their first movie, and this has every trademark of a Coen Brothers movie. The intro is a montage of like rural scenes with a voiceover, little deep message in there, and characters that just, once you dip your foot in shit in a Coen Brothers movie, you're covered in shit until the end, and you either get out or you fucking die. There's two options for you in a Coen Brothers movie. I noticed a lot about the Coen Brothers movie, and it made me think this time how personal, because their genre is very much the crime genre, but these aren't like sweeping epics of crime families and henchmen and all these body bags that accumulate over the length of the movie. This is very much personal. You know, 3 or 4 people, they already have relationships with each other, and everything goes to shit because no one knows the full story except for us, the viewer, and that just makes the viewing all the more enjoyable because we go, I don't know, if only he knew. Ah! We get so frustrated and we laugh and we cry and yeah, really enjoyable. Not the best Coen Brothers movie, but being their first, no one expects that anyway. They've matured a lot. It reminded me of No Country for Old Men if I had to compare it to one of their other movies. So highly recommended, and I'm here. I'm winded. It's been a long day, and I still have one more movie. So I'm here in Yeongdeungpo, and we're going to the theater, and we're going to see The Joker, and then that'll be it for today, movie-wise. So let's get in the theater, and I'll talk about The Joker before I see it a little bit, because it's kind of special. So let's go. So basically, I've seen Joker before, but I'm going to see it in a special theater. So I've seen it in IMAX, but I'm going to see it in Sphere X now. And basically, it's supposed to be like this very immersive egg-shaped theater where the screen is curved, so it like envelops your vision, and the seats are tilted back a little bit. So it should be interesting. I've never done this before, so I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like. So let's go in.
Look, it's Joaquin Phoenix.
So I just got out of Joker, and the screen was not very impressive. I expected like a face mask, like surround shit, and it was like a square that had like indents inwards, and I was a third of the way back too, so I was pretty close. It just didn't look immersive like they said it would, so a little disappointed in that. But that's 4 movies in 3 theaters in one day, so my record's beat. Maybe next time I can see 4 movies in 4 different cinemas. We'll see. I'm not that crazy though, so well, we'll see. We'll see what time will tell as I change my lighting. But I'm a little tired. Gonna go grab a beer with a friend, and I'll see you. So I've seen Joker twice now. The first was in IMAX, huge screen, and the film is shot with a certain ratio. It's not quite full on the IMAX screen, but it's really takes up a lot of space, and it just looked great. And I saw it in the Sphere X, which I mentioned, and this is not a great movie. It's a really good movie. It's not a great movie, and it's not an amazing movie, but it is really, really good. It doesn't need to be said that Joaquin Phoenix's performance is incredible. He's just great in the movie to watch, creepy and scary and sympathetic, and all those things. And he deserves every award that comes to him this season. The cinematography is really good. A lot of nice, really shallow shots. The score is really good too. It's a little on the nose, but it's still, I mean, if it's effective, it's effective. So, a lot of really dark strings and brooding and foreboding, stuff like that. The direction's good, and the production design's good. It looks very much like a gritty, dirty 1980s New York movie, which makes sense because it's trying so hard to be Taxi Driver. But the weakest part is the script and the screenplay. It's not bad, but that's what keeps it from being this incredible movie. And the biggest problem I have, and this has been brought up by a lot of other people, is when he's in his girlfriend's living room and she comes back and she goes, "You're Arthur, right? What are you doing here?" And it's, oh, he never was really dating her. And I can deal with that. It's still kind of cheesy. I can deal with that. And this is what makes, and it's a really small thing, this is what makes the movie down a few pegs. They show flashbacks with him and her, and then she's not there. It's like, I'm not 7. I know, like, I get it. If she'd just come home and said, like, oh God, what are you doing here? You're Arthur, right? We can put that together, like, oh shit, like, she's never met this guy before. Ugh. So that still wouldn't be a super strong story point, but, treat us like we're older than 11, you know what I mean? And it's, a highly rated movie from a parental guidance level anyway. So we're all going to be in our teen years or plus. So it doesn't need to be spoon-fed us like that. And the whole, not Bruce Wayne, what's his dad's name? His dad. Father Wayne. The whole Batman and Wayne part doesn't feel necessarily. And and he meets young Bruce, and it's, they should have focused on his mental problems and him trying to come to terms with that. His mother not being there and being a bit off was much more interesting. And if they wanted to keep some of the Father Wayne stuff in there with that, I would be fine. But the young Bruce, and I know it's a Batman movie in that universe, but it didn't feel necessary. This is a much better movie if you just consider it a character study rather than a good story with an arc. It's much more enjoyable if you just consider this, here's a guy and this is what happens to him and who is he and what drives him to do things that he does. So I give the movie a 7.5 out of 10. It is very enjoyable and I do like it. Let's not get the wrong idea. But it does get a lot of praise from a lot of people for being this masterpiece. And it just isn't. It's just a really good movie. So, I hope you'd enjoy it if you saw it. I'm sure many of you have. And I'll get my brain tinkering about my next insane record. And I'm going to do some more movies on cinema culture in Korea and Seoul theaters and stuff like that. So stay tuned, and I will catch you next time.